This is incredible. This is all these people just cruising. Don't move.
Stop! Stop!
This is incredible.
Boy, did we have to come to an abrupt stop. No, but just see now. Okay, stop. Спасибо.
This is just incredible. No. This is incredible. Why isn't this in focus? Something's wrong. There's no focus. The focus is all blurry.
Is the battery going?
No.
Oh, I
No
don't.
road. It's flood. And those cars are accidents. Sandy, get it out of the rain. Not well.
This is the location of the massacre of 3,000 Jews. Look over here. Here's the sea. The sea, and as we come back, there's the ravine, and Saul is standing at the memorial. The children's camp, which is located right beside the site.
It's right behind us.
And we're just approaching and just walking up through the trees, and there's Saul and Kay, and there's the bridge which leads across the ravine, and we'll cross the ravine. This is a view down into the ravine. We haven't yet come to the site, but this is a view down into the ravine, which then leads off into the Sea of Azov. We have now crossed the bridge to another part of this children's pioneer camp, and we still can't find any kind of a marker which would indicate that at this site 3,000 Jews were slaughtered, massacred by the Nazis. Stand still, Kay. Kay. We are walking towards where some gentleman who has been found may tell us where the memorial is.
Right, but brought to this place and buried here. See, buried in this
Buried
place.
here, you mean by the Jews or by...
Значит, их это только, значит, их расстреляли здесь внизу, да?
Да, их расстреляли здесь. Сначала согнали. Здесь была территория. Огорожен на колючий проволок.
It was a territory
Yeah.
with bars. All the bars were just a round territory, and they shot everybody there down.
Yeah. They were standing there and they
Yes,
shot them into
yeah,
the...
yes.
Новосильевка недавно. Ну, недалеко за этим Новосильевка. Там был
Tyrants.
высажен десант.
What is
Вот и
that?
немцы перепугались, загнали их всех. Вот Мерликовая балка, там мосты идут такие вот сейчас на территории этого лагеря. И всех их расстреляли. После освобождения города от немцев тут работала комиссия по зверствам фашизма. Их раскопали и похоронили в общей могиле. Вот здесь поставили ему памятник жертвам
see?
фашизма.
It was just the period when the Russian army was approaching the town, and Berdyansk, yes, and that's why the Nazis already heard about the cannon, and they were afraid to. They were not the very moment they were shot. The first moment they were not shot. They were gathered together, all the Jews. But as far as they heard
Does he know how many?
the army approaching, wait a minute, the army approaching, they have just put everybody down,
Yeah.
all the Jews, and they shot everybody and buried there. Later on, when there came the people after the town was liberated from the fascists, they came to know where the grave is, and they have taken everything from the grave, because it is not the place for the monument.
Yeah.
They have taken everything and made the grave
A
and
common
buried,
grave.
Common grave.
buried them and put the monument in this place.
And all of them are buried in this
All
circular...
of them are buried in this very grave, in this very place. And later on they put the monument.
And
Because
this gentleman, how does he...
I'm a resident of this place. I live in this very place
Нам
for
еще
many,
старики
many years.
рассказывали.
And my grandfather
Здесь же
and
раньше не было ни
grandfather.
поселка, ничего. Жили только дальше. Там Матросская Слобода, сейчас она Лиски называется. Вот оттуда
We live
бабушки,
nearby
дедушки
over there,
рассказывали.
and my grandfathers and grandmother were telling me about this horrible event.
Сейчас
with
там
the-
на Лисках есть, по-моему, остались несколько человек очевидцев, которые знают, что немцы здесь расстреляли непосредственно определенное количество людей. Я точно не знаю сколько. Ну, говорят, что
He
это
doesn't know how
How
many
many?
people were shot in this
около
place.
30 тысяч человек.
About
Здесь были
30,000.
согнаны со всего Бердянского района люди.
So it's about 30,000 people, and together with them, a few thousand of the Jewish people.
Oh, about 30,000. In other words,
All together.
all together.
Значит, их расстреляли все вместе?
Все вместе.
Yes, they were shot all together.
All together.
Тут сначала просто этот гранитный камень лежал, а
Is
потом уже...
anything written there?
Before
about
the
it?
first monument was that granite, you see, that faraway stone was the first monument, and later on they have buried everybody here all together in the soil.
Does this gentleman know the date, the month,
Вы
the
не
year?
знаете год, когда это случилось? Probably it's written
Там
on
все
the...
на память.
Tell you something is there.
По-моему, 43-42 год.
This is we have not only this place where they were shot. We have the memorials at the cemeteries, and then those places there are no Jewish people.
But here are
But
all
here
the
there were many Jewish people shot in this place.
This place. And what is that? Can you translate it again as to what it says?
To the victims of the fascism, 1941, 1943.
Victims of fascism?
To the victims of fascism from the people of the town Berdyansk.
Berdyansk. That's all there is. There is no other inscription on
No
the
any
other
other
side. Is
inscription. And the first monument,
that stone?
I don't see. Ничего там нет, никакой таблички, да?
Нет, нет, абсолютно.
The first monument is the stone over there, which I will walk towards, and then this other monument was erected. We don't know if there's any inscription on the other monument. This is the original stone that was used as a monument, and it was then replaced by that obelisk over on the other side, which we have just seen. And you get a view of the whole area. They claim, of course, that there were 30,000 Russians killed on this site. We could probably get the true story, but then again, they claimed Russians were killed at Babi Yar, and only when later on there was full investigation was it found that it was Jews.
The perspective starts from there and goes.
Yeah, one can hardly believe that under these beautiful conditions such cruelty could have been perpetrated. Such cruelty. Here's the monument. There's the monument, and let us go back out onto the bay. Out onto the bay. One can't imagine when one sees such beauty and the continuous roar of the sea, beautiful sound of the sea. And there's the ravine. It doesn't make sense. The whole thing doesn't make sense. Man's inhumanity of man. Now we have just finished saying, Saul has said, El Malarachamim, and we've all said Kaddish. Probably the first time this has been said at this point. Well, here we are arriving at the airport. There was only one person who had luggage that came in on the luggage van, and that was us. And here's what's picked us up. This wagon here, and there Ruth and Kay standing and discussing what went on, the whole experience. And that was... Here we are at the airport. This whole wagon came out to our truck because we were the only people on it, and brought all our luggage into the car and loaded up the car. This is the airport. This is the Kiev airport. Here we are in Kiev. Think of it. Oh well. Driving down the streets of Kiev, and it's like driving down the streets of Kiev. Under construction. Pretty rise, I would say. I can't see what they're using for building, but we can find out as we get closer. Here we have now arrived at Babi Yar, and right here there's a kiosk. I presume it's for souvenirs, which is a little gross, bizarre. And that's Kay with Felix and Saul and Ruth walking down to the that's Babi Yar in the distance, and we're going to walk down to it. This is the path going down to Babi Yar. And this is the monument at Babi Yar. This is the surroundings. Obviously, this was the outskirts of the city in the 1940s when the massacre occurred. We will walk up to the monument, and completely different setting to one we saw at Berdyansk. Actually, the monument for all of the people killed in this war, and it was erected by Russians to indicate the war against fascism. It does not mark the right place of the Baba Yar killings, which took place about 100 meters from here. We are going to be walking over to that site.
Jewish sense.
No.
It mostly gives us sense and feelings of
Ukraine.
citizen from Kiev.
Yeah. It's very powerful anyway.
This is the same as we saw down at Berdyansk. No mention that this is a Jewish cemetery at all.
No, absolutely not.
So this is
Even this monument. in this
right,
place.
right, right.
I mean, the fact
But
that
this was made, what, a few years ago? When, 19?
No,
No, in the 70s.
16 years ago it was built.
16,
1976. Yeah.
Well, I think that the Babi Yar poem was published
Before this,
Before this
before the
thing
monument. Babi Yar poem is from the early 70s. I would But guess. I read in
Them to have to make a park here. You see the tourist road around of the monument. All over.
this monument, from this view from this monument of the actual location of Baba Yar, which is down over in the direction which we're facing, on the other side of the road. The one inference of Jewish suffering is the mother on the top who is protecting her child with her head while her hands are tied behind her back. This is the sole Jewish suffering reference, possible Jewish suffering reference on this monument. This is viewing the statue from the bottom of the ravine. It's immense. It is hard to picture. I hope that I have captured in this film the immensity of this monument. Here's the other side. It is really, really immense, and I'm not sure how well it really portrays the individual tragedies that occurred here. Because we can talk of numbers, but on a personal level, it is one by one, each family who lost. And Felix tells us that the custom in the city is that after a marriage, most Ukrainians go to Victory Square to recognize the past in their present love and commitment, and the Jewish couples come here to Baba Yar.
From here,
Yeah.
we have seen.
Yeah.
You asked me what's the place,
Yes.
and maybe there when you see white car, maybe some far from here, it was
Maybe
fascists with guns,
Not far from there.
and the line of fascists with guns, and
The line of
those
what?
Of the
times,
fascists with guns.
and those times people started to understand that it's not
It's not a new place to live.
Not a new place to live, but they couldn't go back.
I'm sure they
Were they walking or were they taken in cars?
They walked.
They were walking.
They were walking. And after it, they turned to this road, and we will go by it.
And this is where they went to the
Some were
execution.
shot when they were walking, and when they came.
Right on this path, this is a view right from our path of a new TV studio being built for 10 years now. I'm trying in my mind to view this in relationship to the communication center, so close to a site in which so little communication took place.
I don't know exactly. You see, big wall around, so it's not welcome wall. Stay both sides of the road, so some distance.
Can you? I hope you
All
can hear.
along with white Magen space with it was written on the Magen was. I remember Treblinka, I remember Auschwitz, I remember Cow.
In November 89.
And is saying that last year, on the 50th anniversary
No,
of this town came
swimming
wearing
pool.
stars of David, yellow star, yellow badges, and all were marked. I remember Auschwitz, Treblinka, and Babi Yar.
Sort of grass.
Tells us that this was by to prepare for the 50th anniversary commemoration. It's an eerie feeling walking this road when you consider the 50-odd years. 250,000 Jews walked it to their death. We are coming closer and closer. It's been about a 6-minute, 7-minute walk. And all I can think of really is what went through the minds of Jews, 250,000 of them, as they walked this last 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet to their death. Parents probably not wanting to run to leave because they'd be leaving their children, and children not wanting to run because they would be leaving their parents. Very difficult to understand.
Ended it.
Yeah.
For the
And-
50th anniversary.
And the day is the 28th of September.
41 to 91.
Yeah.
On the 28th of September 1991, representative from German embassy came here. It seems to me that the council came here.
Here we are walking down towards the ravine. And it's said, quote, the that the Nazis effected killing and nowhere hold record in the speed at which they destroyed people. Here's a view down into the...
So big rock, why could they shot so quickly? You see the ravine, it was more deeper than now. They put people on the and people fell there. Before kill people, they put mines in this part of the ravine.
And this is not known that this was a Jewish cemetery
he has been
right
here,
close
and
to
Nuri
Babi
told
Yar.
Sandy that she must look for it, and she did when she was here in November.
So close to Babi Yar, only a few
I
hundred
see
feet
another
away.
tombstone right there.
There are tombstones.
You have a whole row of
There-
them. Oh, really? Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Do you think we might find some more Ivri?
And here's one here.
More Hebrew?
Yeah, okay, let's see what it says.
We might have Hebrew on this one.
Well,
Yeah,
then,
Yoel.
no, Yoel's the first name.
Konig Bar.
Yoel
Wait a minute.
Halevi.
Maybe.
I'm recording this with low light, but I think it's important to show what
Maybe we
was
can figure
existing
this out,
here.
too.
And all this
Tarta.
German.
Tarta would be what?
Macabar.
20, what, 21?
Cobb.
21,
Lovely on that one.
We're now in the St. Sophia area, and we're entering in. I'm giving you a panoramic view. As we come in, people are all around us. It's very difficult to get these buildings all around. I don't know yet very much about this area, but I'll try and describe it as we move ahead. Walking along, music in the background. All that. Doing. That's what I'm doing. This is the Ukrainian national instrument called a bandura. This is more. I know. Saul is busy, but look at this. I'm just looking at the height and the color of this Ukrainian church. But there's not very much. The perspective is not very good here. We really can't do too much other than to show just general space. That's all we can do. We've now come to the Cheskaya Lavra, and these are the paintings on the wall which at the entranceway, and now we're moving over to the entrance. icons.
Это можно все.
This is the other wall of the entranceway. And surviving the war. An 800-year-old monastery, and one can gather the height of the tower. Very Byzantine. Very These monasteries were surrounded by a wall built in 1200 AD and 1200 CE, we should say. We should remember that. Just I'm rotating around 360 degrees. This is the entranceway, as we saw from the other side. And here we're coming down again. A lot of gold, all the colors and roofs. Gold is used all over here. If they were to salvage all the gold that they have, they would most definitely balance their budget. Here we